Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne and happy Wheelie Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing the next stage of the poker build of the 1299 Panigale R Final Edition. And also, may the fourth be with you. You gotta love the old pun, may the fourth be with you. And then I suppose tomorrow's Revenge of the Fifth. Anyway, what we were doing last time, we were working on the cooling system. We're going to be continuing that this time. I have already broken some of these pieces off, so we're going to get started on that now. Now, a lot of people in the comments last week were asking where I can get it from. And I don't know. I mean, just do a search for Pocher, P-O-C-H-E-R, and Final Edition 1299. It should bring up some stockists, but I am aware it's out of stock in a lot of places at the moment, hence why this is a limited edition. Now, I'm actually building this for Ian from Part Work Upgrades. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's taking, I mean, there's over 900 pieces, so it's going to take quite a while. But let's see how far we get today. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so here's the instructions today. As you can see, we're doing this whole section here, so it's looking like that. So we've got a cooling system just on here at the moment. Now, last time we did work on these two items here, and I think we're going to be elaborating on that. I don't know if we use these straight away, but I'll put them to one side because it's all going to start with this grill looking like that. We're going to be adding lots of details to that. So the first detail we've got is this part here, which is going to go just onto the side there, just lining everything up there, just like that, held in with some J screws. Now, bearing in mind there's almost a full alphabet of screws, so like 26 screws. Trying to find each individual screw is just as much fun as finding the parts that we need for the build. Now, the parts for today's build so far have been spread over 4 sprues, which I believe were K, J, let me have a look, L and R. So there we go, that's the first piece in place there. We've got this shorter one here, which is just going to be going onto this side like that. Once again, J screws. I'm going to be putting this back on here, making sure it's round the right way. So this lip is down the bottom here, just like that. That's going to be held in different screw this time, L screws. And while I'm screwing these in, I think it'd probably be a good time just to talk to you about the Spitfire. Last night, just after the Ferrari stream, I was checking the flight because I was having a problem with the elevators. One of the elevators was doing its own thing, and I noticed that my new board that we put into the base, which pretty much controls the whole thing, was smoking. So my base is now completely redundant. What happens is the plane still works, and 2 of the lifters work, the back one and the front right one. But the front left one doesn't work anymore. So I think I'm gonna, when I get to the last video, I will do a demonstration of that. But I think it is going to be a static model, which is a shame. But I'll explain that when we do that. So that's that one in place. We've got 2 back sections here to put on. Now they look just like that, and they're going to be facing inwards. So we have got some locating lugs on here. So one's going to go in this side like that, and the other one's going to go in this side just like that. And once again, they're held in with J screws. So at least it had a couple of flights. I haven't got a clue what's happening, but yeah, very disappointed. Okay, so they're in just like that. Now we're going to be building onto this. So a couple of things we've got to put in first. In this section here, we've got a cap to put on, which looks like that. And I'm just going to push that into the hole just at the top here. Quite a tight fit. So it's not going to need glue. Just going to get that down as far as I can. There we go. That's not coming out. So there we go. And now we're going to build some stuff onto this. Okay, I think I've got out everything I need for the next stage, so we'll certainly find out. First thing we need looks just like that. We've got a box to put on the top of it, which is just going to go into this section here. So as you can see, these holes on the top are just going to line up with the holes just there, and they're held in with J screws. But just to make things tricky, the J screws are going in from the underside here. So once I've lined a couple of these up, I'm not putting them in tight, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, but nothing's ever easy. So a little bit tricky, but we got that in. Said you have to screw in from this side here. Then on top of that, we got this lovely detail here. Look at that. That's brilliant. And we're going to be mounting this whole section to this here. Now, as you can see, we've got a ring of holes here. We've got to line them up like that. And once again, lots of J screws this time just to secure this into place. I think we've got, gosh, some of these are going to go in at quite a weird angle as well. But I'll get one in, just like this. And then we just have a count. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Said loads, it's just 3. Now you can see where I've got the problem, because I should have put this bit in afterwards, because look, I can't get these screws in to these bits here now. It's a pain. It's a pain. This is what I hate about this build. Okay, so put this one in over here. Now, we have got a little clip on the side here. That isn't a burr or a bit of flashing. That's meant to be there. I'm guessing that's going to hold a wire into place. Don't snap that off. What I have got to do, though, is take off the screws that I've just put in here so I can get the last 2 screws in. And there we go. That is perfect. The next thing we've got to put in is the fan, looking like that. Now, I believe the fan's going in this way. So it looks like that from this side and that from the other side there. That's going to be held in with an L screw. Now the reason I'm giving names of screws out, even if you're not building it, is that the people that are building it will know. So that's the fan in, which obviously fits into place. You can turn it, but I mean, it's never going to be turned, I guess. I can put that to one side. I've just noticed I've got some flashing on the top here that I just need to cut off. These 2 bits here, 1 and 2. I've got another cooler to make that looks like this. I've got to put some sides in. The first side has this little cap at the top. That's going to go on there like that. That's held in with J screws. Just 2 in the side here. And we do the same thing just on the other side here. We have got a locating lug for this one. That's going to go in there. I can put that to one side. And now we've got this lovely bit of metal here. Check that out. Solid. It's got another grill in here. We're going to be adding some details to either side of this section first. So I'll just get them off the sprue. Did I say details? I meant detail. It's just this one here. So if I have this way round, this is going to be going on this side just here. So I'm just going to line that up. Just so that this is facing upwards here, like that. And it's held in from this side with L screws. Perfect. So that's that side in looking like that. On the other side here, I've got this tiny detail looking like that. Once again, this has got a screw hole in there. It's just going to go in this way. Once again, held in with an L screw. So that looks like that. I've got this top brace to put on, which is going to go onto the top like that. I'm guessing we haven't got to put another part in yet. I'm hoping not. We'll see. But that's going to be held in with size B screws, which I just had to go in the box to get again. They weren't with all my other screws, so I don't know why I misplaced them. I've got them here though. We're then going to be mounting the radiator, which goes in this way with this cap on the right hand side. So just slot that into the slots at the bottom there, and it should fit quite flush in here like that, held in with B screws here, which I just so happen to have ready. So one in there and one in the other side. Excellent. I'm going to use my heavy duty screwdriver just to get these in. Should have put these in metal because they are going into metal. Should have put them in metal, should have put them in oil. Brute strength will win out though. Now we've got a hose that's going to be coming out of this hole here. That looks just like this. So I'm just going to put that in kind of like where that's going to go. Just like that for now. Because then I've got this bottom piece to put on just here. Like that. And that's going to be held in with size B screws again. But when we put this in, let's make sure that this pipe is connected to that side as well. Excellent. I'm thinking at the moment everything looks like I'm doing it in the right order. Now I've got this little cap here, which is just going to be going on top of that fixture just there. So I'm going to push that into place. And then I need to cut some more of this tubing to length. And this time I need 58 mils. I am very aware that I keep calling this centimetres before. You don't want 58 centimetres. 58 mils, there we go. Get my scalpel and cut that off. Perfect. Now this short one is going to go onto this silver cap here. Now I've got some glue. I'm just going to put some glue just on the nipple on the back that this one goes to, because I don't want this falling out. And I'll get this into place. Just push that up there. Like that. And the other side of it is just going onto the nipple that we can just see on this section here. I've said nipple quite a few times in this video today, haven't I? Okay, so I'll get this one in as well. Just bend it round. Now I need to cut another length of hose. This time I need 235 mils, so quite a long one. 23.5 centimetres. So I've got that here. So I'm cutting it there. Got my glue ready. Because this one's just going to go onto the nipple on this cap here. Put that into place. Just like that. All we've got to do now is put this base section in. That's just going to go onto these three risen sections there. That's going to fit in like that. That's held in with size B screws again. My lead's just fallen out. I better put that in before the glue dries. Let me just do that now. You can see why I glue things in now. Just put the rest of these size B screws in. And then the last screw to put in, we just got a J screw just to put into this hole down the bottom next to the B screw we just put in. Excellent. Once again, reattach this blooming cable. Let's just put a bit more glue on that. Now this cable is going to go round the outside. It's going to clip into this little place here. Remember I told you about that little bit of thing that looked like flashing? Just like that. And then it's going to be passing through this section just here like this. So it's coming out of the bottom there. And there we go. That massive unit there, which we've just done, has completed that little stage. Let's move on to the next stage. Okay, I think I've got all the parts that we need for this stage. We're going to be building this stage first, and then adding this section afterwards. So that's going to be stage 11. Not sure how we're going to get on. We might be able to do stage 12 as well. We'll have a look. But let's do this bit first. So we need this bracket first and this section. These are metal. So they're quite sturdy. Quite simply, to start off with, this is just going to go in here like that to extend this out. Quite a few different screws are going in here. So first of all, I need size A screws. All this going into metal, so I'm putting this in oil. A little bit of a starter, and then I'll use my heavy duty screwdriver. Then I've got this little plastic panel to put in, which is going to go onto these two sections here, making sure I put them round the right way. So that's going to go just onto this section here, and they're held in with J screws there. Need 2 J screws, so one there and one on the other side here. Perfect. So now that looks like that. I'm going to put that to one side because we've got another bit in the middle to put in now. Again, this is metal, but we're going to be attaching it to a plastic detail looking like this, and I'm hoping I'm putting this in the right way because I've got a detail to put on top of that. Otherwise it's not going to sit in there at all. So it goes around this way here. Put one in here. There is some detailing on this, so when I just put the last screw in, I'll show you that. As you can see, it says Ducati on the detailing. Now I'm trying to figure out how this goes. This is going to be a little bit confusing now. But this section here is going to be fitting on top of this section here, just like that. And this section here will be going in the middle. Now before I pin it together, we've got some cables that are going to be coming out of this one. So it's probably best to put the cables on this section first. Now these are both 100 mils, 10 centimeters. So once again, I will measure this out and get this cut. This time I'm just going to dab some glue just onto these pins here. Just like that. Not a lot. And put these into place. That's 1 and 2. Excellent. As you can see, it slips over that section there. So when we actually piece the other side in, which I'm not doing yet because I've got to put some screws in, but it's going to kind of look like that. So I'm going to leave that gently there and do exactly what we did on that side to this side. So once again, this is just going to go on there like that, and that's going to hold in with an A screw just from this side. So confusing figuring out what order this gets done in. And then once again, we've got the other detail, which is just going to match this detail here. Push that in. Oops, round the wrong way. In that way there, held in with J screws. And then we're just going to piece both of these together. But when I put these together, if I do this slowly here, just make sure that these link inside this section here. A little bit tricky. There we go. I'm just going to pass one of these cables from the left side through that hole, one through the right side, through this hole, probably best on the top camera. There we go. Then we just need to secure this together with AA screws just through these holes here. So one in this side. Excellent, that's in nice and tight. And just one on this side up the top here. I think that's it. I will have a check. Excellent, yep, and that's now in place looking like that. Details to put on top of this section now. Okay, I think I have all the pieces I need. So we've got this lovely piece of metal again, looking like this. And we've got a bottom section to put on here. So, hope I've got this the right way round. I've got this lovely metal section here, and this specially wrapped, detailed part. Look at that, with a paintwork on that. Looking like that, that's perfect. I'm going to put the sump in place. It looks like a sump, I don't know what it is. As I said, I don't claim to know any of these parts that I'm putting in here. So I attach this to the bottom to be able to get those screws in. And that's going to hold the whole thing together, as you can see, like that. So let me put these X screws in. You do have to push this pretty hard to get these screws to engage. As you can see. I mean, when they go in, they bite, but it does take some time just to get that pushed into place. Going to put this top piece now over here, like that. That's going to hold all of that into place. This time we're holding this in with A screws, but at the very front we're going to be putting a K screw. So that's looking pretty cool like that. One more small detail to put on, which looks just like that. Bit of metal here, and that's just going to go on top of this section there, held in with A screws. So I've put them in really loosely. I'm just going to tighten them up again with a heavy duty screwdriver. That will ensure that these two parts are held together. They're never coming apart. And I think we'll do one more stage on this, which looks like we're putting the seat together. Okay, I'm going to put that to one side for a second because we've got lots of bits to put together now. And the first one, we're going to do the seat. And this is actually made from quite a flexible material. Good stuff. We're going to be putting this over this section here. This is going to go underneath, pretty much like we used to mould the seats for some of our partwork builds here. Just like that on one side. It's flexible enough to actually move it round. So it clips into place just like that. Now they're going to be held in with Q screws. So these are flange screws here. Get all of these in. Just 4 of those screws, so that looks like that. Got a really tiny detail here that's just going to be going on to the top of this section here, just to reinforce that as I put this into this section here. So this is actually just going to go onto that section like that. It's going to be held in on that point with an S screw. Now just go in there. That will keep that part of the seat down. Again, put that to one side. Because we're making the front section now. To do that, we've got this detail here. It's got Ducati on it, as you can see. That's going to go over the top like that. Again, it's quite a flexible material, this is. Underneath this, to reinforce it, I've got this section here. That's going to go on here like this. Clipped in. And that's going to be held in with K screws here. Again, just bringing this section over here, I've got a bracket, which is just going to go into the two holes that we can see there. So it's going to go over like that and just clips in. There you go. And then this is just going to clip in by that clip there in the middle, like that. Now I'm just going to make the fuel tank section. Okay, this is going to be impactful. Look, check that out. That's the top. That's going to be the bottom. We've got some bits to put in the middle first though. So to do this, what we're going to do is I've already created this section here. This is just the cap, which is going to fit into the top of this section here like this. Excellent. I'm going to put a spindle over the top and I'm going to close that off just with this section here, lining up all the lugs. That'll keep everything in one place. And we want to make sure that that is flush all the way around there. We are still able to pull open the cap, as you can see. That's what the petrol looks like inside. Put that back down. And we're just going to fix this now into the top section of the bike like this with A screws. Just make sure when we attach this that the cap is facing forwards here. Now before I attach this together, I've got a couple of other details to put in here that look like this. This here is just going to go on to the end of this section like that. And we have got these little covers to put on as well before I screw that down. Get these off. They're going to be held in with B screws. So I'll get this on and show you what this looks like. It's going to look just like this. This is one screw going in here. Let's make that a lot tighter. Excellent. And just do the same on the other side. That's imperfect. And then all we've got to do is just link both of these parts together. You can see the two lugs there in the top. Just like this. There you go. Held in with A screws just here, here and here. Now it does mean that I need to take off this section here to get this in. Which is typical. Because this is actually just going to mount under this section here. Putting these wires down with a B screw. Just like this. And then I can put this back on top. Now as I run out of room on my memory card, two more things left to put in. We've just got these side pieces here, which basically go on like this. And they're mounted at the bottom here. So that's the first one on. And they're held in here with 3 B screws. So now that looks like that. Pretty amazing, isn't it? I love this. I love the cushion seat as well. And then the last thing I've got to do is just put this bottom on. That's going to go on this way round. And it's just going to go over the lugs here. And that's held on with 2 EE screws. And there you go. That awesome stage is complete. And that looks pretty good, doesn't it? So there you go. We have created this awesome top section. It's amazing what you can do in one session, isn't it? And obviously we finished off doing this section as well. But we're going to have another Wheelie Wednesday next week. Not quite sure how many stages there are left to do with this. We'll have to check that out. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.